YouTube friends, what's going on? DVD back with a brand new video. Today we're talking about how to get anamorphic on a budget. I'm pretty sure you've seen some of your favorite movies with anamorphic flares with the creamy bokeh that anamorphic lenses offer. And then upon some research, you would have seen that anamorphic lenses are pretty expensive. I'm not talking about $1,000, I'm talking about, a couple of thousands of dollars for even one lens. Now, sure, there's certain things you can do to, sort of mimic what an anamorphic lens can do, right? You can put 2, 3, 5, 1 crop layers on top of your footage. There's different ways you can recreate the characteristics of an anamorphic lens. But what if you didn't want to deal with all that hassle, so to speak, and you wanted to get everything in camera? Well, that, my friends, is where this guy comes in. This is the SLR Magic 40mm 133 squeeze anamorphic adapter. So let's break that down a little bit, right? 133 squeeze is just one ratio you can call, one aspect ratio of the D-squeeze format that anamorphic lenses can offer. You have a 2x squeeze as well too. 133 is kind of like the lower end version of it. The 2x squeeze will basically compress everything more, so that way when you de-squeeze it, you get more width for your footage. A 133 squeeze does the same thing, right? Where it compresses the footage, or not compresses like codec or anything like that, but it basically just compresses the resolution or the aspect ratio of it. Not so much as like 2x, but it's right there. And then when you de-squeeze it in post, you get a little bit more width. Along with that, you get those beautiful blue anamorphic flares, those horizontal streaks. Say when a car is pulling up and there's light hitting the headlights, you get those really nice blue streaks across. That's why I like anamorphic lenses. Whereas other people, they like the anamorphic look because of the dreamy, just kind of creamy looking bokeh where everything is like falling away, right? And for $449, this is a great budget way to introduce yourself into the world of anamorphic, right? I don't shoot a lot of anamorphic. If I do, it's because it's for a specific purpose. If I see something, or if I'm going into pre-production and I feel like there might be an opportunity where I can get an anamorphic flare to come through for certain looks, for certain visual shots, like a hero shot, then I'll bring this along. But let's take a look at actually what this thing does. So you have a front element here, which is a 62mm front thread. So you can use a step-up ring from like 62 to like 67, and then onwards and onwards to put ND filter on, or your Pro Mist filter on, or your black satin filter on. And then on the back of it is basically how you attach the anamorphic adapter to a lens that has to also have at least a 52mm front in front of it. So I just happen to have a lens like that, which is the SLR Magic. This is the 25mm T.95, one of my favorite lenses that I use. So 52mm front of the lens, and then rear, you connect this thing, and it's kind of a weird thing because you can screw it on, right, which is what you have to, and then it stops. But if you notice, the lens is not, the anamorphic front is not in line, right? So what they did was they put a white marking, and what you do is you basically align that with hopefully the other marking, the front markings of your lens. Then once you have that on, you're good to go. Let's talk about some drawbacks to using this anamorphic adapter. If you have fast glass, like an f1.4, you'll most likely need to step down to a 2 or a 2.8 in some circumstances to be able to maintain focus and even to just get focus in general. There's a normal and a near focus ring for the anamorphic adapter. So normal focus is basically when, if you're like 5 feet away, if that's the maximum for your lens, right? Then you'll be able to keep focus. The near is when you're a little bit closer. So say if you're trying to get more like infinity focus, or if you're really trying to get close focus distance, you have to use a near focus. But what I find with that is it's going to take away from the native near focus of your lens. So you have to back up a little bit, right? So there's that caveat is you have to literally, when you're going closer to something, you have to rotate it to near and then refocus. If you're going back to normal distance, you have to switch, rotate to normal, and then go, refocus. Other than that, for $449, I think it's a great opportunity for anyone who wants to shoot anamorphic sometimes. You may have a project that you want to shoot anamorphic, the director wants to shoot anamorphic, right? And rather than having to spend like, tens of thousands of dollars, if you have a lens with a 52mm front, then you could put this thing on and you have anamorphic in camera. Is it the best option? I think there's probably other options out there, but for me, I know SLR Magic makes great quality products, and it's something that I've used and tested, and I can say minus the normal and the near focus, kind of quirks about it, then this is probably the best option you have for shooting anamorphic on a budget. If you guys have any questions, comments, leave them down below. Let me know your thoughts on shooting anamorphic and any kind of budget options you have. Subscribe to my YouTube channel as always, just so you're notified of new content coming out. And remember friends, every day you have an opportunity to create your experience and to write and tell your own story. My name is David Lee, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.